ISSI Vision 2015 report. The journey is the destination. Quality is both a process and an outcome. The goals of this report: 1. Review Vision 2015. 2. Tell what has happened. And 3. Describe what remains. But first we need to review the context. A strategic planning process is a process that consciously guides an organization towards a set of goals for a period of time. The essence of those goals should be drawn from the critical membership of the organization through a variety of means of input. The outcome of the process is the achievement of the vision in an intentional, non-arbitrary manner. Historically, ISSI has based the framework for the vision around the quality standards of Focus Accreditation. But here's the challenge. What we've found to be most important in our work has increasingly become secondary to the requirements of compliance and regulatory accountability to a number of bodies. A caveat at the outset. We need to avoid an error in thinking. In strategic planning, there's a danger that we may merely create a document and a shelf to put it on. The planning process needs to produce a guide for our practices and our outcomes. First, let's review Vision 2015. What was our vision for the year? Our Statement of Vision 2015 can be found on our website, in a brochure, in a video, in a detailed plan, and in the gap analysis. In a digital copy of this presentation, the links above can be clicked on with a live internet connection to display those documents. The vision can most simply be summarized in 5 statements of vision and values, 3 main areas of focus, and those are to help people find their voice, growth opportunities, or GO, and truly inclusive communities. The 5 statements of vision are, and have been for a number of years, person-centeredness, visionary leadership, continuous learning, positive design, and responsive services. These break down into 14 more detailed statements. 2. What has happened? We've really only just begun to realize our vision for 2015. Helping people find their voice has meant work on personal planning, communication, rights, and accessibility. What we have done is, number 1, we have created tools in each of these areas. 2, we are developing teams in each of these areas. And 3, we are hosting gatherings for these teams. Worth noting that the challenge is providing resources, money, and time so that people can do this work, if only the basic meetings. With respect to personal planning, we have 1, created a video guide and written tool. 2, we have a team of primary workers in place. 3, we've planned to host a gathering for that team. With respect to communication, we have created a tool called Communicate, which leads to personal communication plans. 2, begun to assemble a communication team in conjunction with the communication clinic. And 3, scheduled a gathering for that team. With respect to rights, we have created a tool to document rights restrictions. We've begun to formulate a rights restriction assessment tool, and we've discussed a gathering to cultivate a team. With respect to accessibility, we have created a tool called Assess Access to assess personal and community access. And 2, we have published a plan called the AODA Multi-Year Accessibility Plan for the Integrated Accessibility Standards Regulation. With respect to growth opportunities, or GO, we have engaged in extensive online training sessions for staff, and this has had approximately 80 staff engaged in 12 course modules. With respect to truly inclusive community, we have operationalized this goal as, in one respect, speaking to the exclusion of people from services. We have developed the concept of learning for living to allow learning experiences that meet the needs of people excluded from services by wait lists. We've expanded our services in response to crisis, and we have integrated our services with expanded passport services. So 3rd, what remains to be done? What are we still working on? We need to complete the tools, teams, and gatherings by March 31st. We need to submit a readiness assessment plan to focus accreditation by March 31st, and this is a step towards accreditation. We need to review Vision 2015 with all stakeholders or members, address the deficits and go with respect to training beyond the mandatory elements into the challenging and inspirational training elements about successful support work, and expand our sense of community by mapping a list of community partners. What are the barriers we face? The barriers that we face in effective planning and providing quality services are essentially twofold: a deficit in values and an inattention to devoting resources to more abstract growth areas. As an organization, we need to place more value on organizational strategic planning, personal planning, accessibility, rights and rights restrictions, and assisted communication. We also need to provide paid resources to develop the work in the areas where we've identified these deficits. Do you remember the video of the otters holding hands? What we need to do now is reach out. How can we get more people engaged? So our next step, we need to survey the membership, stakeholders, and community partners about envisioning our goals for the coming year. Thank you ever so much for the work that you have done on behalf of the people we support.